Hello, everyone, providers. It's Kendrick from Providence Tarot. I felt compelled to do a collective reading on the full moon in Aquarius energy because I feel like we've all been feeling it in very different ways, right? And, transfixed, transmuting, transitioning, transformations in different kinds of ways, right? Collectively. What we're focused on right now is how we share the energy together. How aware are we of what we should be focused on? What's the bigger picture? What's the grand perspective? Who are we as individuals? How are we acting as individuals? How are our relationships calling us to act, right? How is society calling us to act? How are our belief systems speaking louder to us now that Mercury is in Leo, a sign that rules the heart and loyalty and, optimism and vitality? Hi, my loves. Thank you all for being here. I really appreciate you. Thank you for following the channel. Thank you for liking, sharing, subscribing, and being here for these messages. So this is going to be I'm going to talk about the full moon in Aquarius, and then I'm actually going to do a reading for the collective on the full moon in Aquarius. And I'm going to be using these cards that I just got, the Urban Tarot, because I live in New York City. But then I'm going to throw in some oracle cards from the Oracle of the Radiant Sun. Okay, look at this. Venus and Scorpio is talking about secrets, right? Those are hidden things, transformations that are happening. But anyway, let me go back. So, Leo talks about what we believe in ourselves, right? And also the things that are challenging us and our belief in ourselves based on where we come from, right? Uranus is also ruling this full moon in Aquarius, right? It's it is the planet that rules Aquarius, right? So we're looking at where Uranus is right now, and being that it rules Aquarius, we're talking about Taurus energy as well, which is talking about ways that we have committed ourselves to believing things had to stay that way, that now Uranus is shaking things up. Uranus is a planet of radical change, right? Unconventional ways of doing things, newness, boldness, right? It really is that with Uranus. And because it's Aquarius, Uranus rules this full moon, and this full moon is talking about things coming into completion perspective wise, or things coming into a greater awareness, right, on a larger scale for all of us. We're seeing things, we're hearing things, we're able to ascertain, and we're able to reasonably conclude because of our, intelligence and our knowledge to what is going on, right, of what is happening. And there's kind of like a shift that's going on here. It's paradigm shifts. It's also going into different the fifth dimension. I've been listening to things on that. Audio Vega 111 on Instagram, a fellow reader friend of mine and healer, told me about this page, and he sent me the video, and I watched it. But it is talking about how we're changing, and a lot of people are experiencing radical changes in their individual lives, right? That they kind of don't really understand yet, but they know that are happening and are affecting them in real ways. Aquarius is kind of like the authority. Leo is the authority, the sun is the authority. So a lot of people feel like they are the authority on what we are discussing, okay? And I would like to say that no one is the authority over what we are discussing, not even those people that, are in control of the government, okay? And I had an exchange with someone on Instagram today, and it became almost like a confrontation of some sorts, not for me, but on this person's end, because they didn't believe what I was saying. You don't have to believe what I'm saying, but you owe it to yourself to listen, because we do share this experience together. And if something is affecting me, then it is ultimately affecting you. And this person, was affected And they were triggered, and I understand I've been triggered lately too, but weeks ago, you know what I mean? Because I'm kind of like, well, this person was a healer, which was weird. But I digress. I'm not gonna put any negativity towards that. I was just pouring love and positivity her way, that person's way, and letting them know that it really isn't about us fighting. It's about us coming together, right? And understanding that we have a greater purpose, right? We have a responsibility to ourselves, and we have a responsibility to each other. We have a responsibility to the earth. We have a responsibility to, our environment, right? Because Aquarius does talk about the environment and how it affects you mentally. I've been going through that, just in terms of like living in different places in different neighborhoods. It affects you, your day to day, right? Mercury does rule Virgo, which is the season that we're about to go into, right? And we're in the hidden placements, right? That Virgo has. Right? Virgo has hidden placements in Leo, which is where Mercury is, right? And Mercury in Leo is talking about drama, right? Or conversations that spark drama, right? Mars is in Leo. That's like the Seven of Wands. That's talking about trying to fight against the daily opposition that you might be feeling that is triggering you emotionally. And that's on a collective, because that's where the sun is, and that's where those planets are. They're bringing our focus and awareness to that energy. Okay. And the sun is there, which is, the sun likes to live. The sun is saying this is great. This is actually for your own good, because being connected to one's spirit and one's soul and one's heart is actually for one's own good. You know what I mean? It defeats the purpose of you being here and being alive and being woke and being, conscious, right? Because the sun does talks about, a feeling of consciousness, right? Because the sun is exalted in Aries. We're talking about consciousness with that. Mercury is also consciousness, right? Because Mercury does esoterically rule Aries, which the sun is exalted in, and the sun rules Leo, which is where we are now with the sun being there. So that's just what I'm trying to give you guys a greater understanding of what we are, sort of waking up to and what is being brought to our attention. Um, in our conversations that we have about issues that trigger all of us in many different ways shouldn't turn into confrontations. You know what I mean? A debate is fine. Debates are good. It gives everyone a chance to express, strong opinions, right? And also truths. May ask a question. Yes, you can ask a question for sure. I'm waiting for your question. Oh, I know you have to type. What does Michael have to catch up with me about over phone? He's a Cancer and I'm a Virgo. We're in a relationship. What does he have to catch up with you over the phone? That type of question isn't a question that I would necessarily answer, but I can pull a card for you based on that. You want to figure out like what he has to talk to you about. I don't have to get his name, but you don't have to put all of that. Let's see what the oracle cards say, because that's probably going to give you a better answer, okay? And then I'm going to get on to the reading. But I did want to say that, this full moon is also talking to us about healing, right? We should be healing from some of the things that we feel like, are triggering us, because our awareness is, coming up to the things that we are triggered by. And then we're realizing that we have some more work to do, right? Definitely have some more work to do in terms of healing from our traumas. This is so crazy. All right, here. Flirtation. Here's the card, flirtation, right? This is Venus and Sagittarius, so they actually might just be wanting to talk and hear your voice. You know what I mean? And just flirt with you. Okay, everybody, so the Urban Tarot, here we go. Also, we just had the moon in Scorpio, and there was a lot of things going on there, which also revamped or really hit us in the face again and brought us our awareness, right? Really stung. There was like some venom in that around the time the moon was in Scorpio, because that was when all of the, the mass shootings and things like that happened. Okay, so the Urban Tarot is based on, city landscapes and things like that. They're large cards, and they have, they're not very bright. They have a lot of They are. I guess they absorb negativity with the dark colors, right? They're very big. So this is going to be a, am I doing cause and effect? Okay. So I'm going to do cause and effect since that's like what I'm being led to do. Sorry, hold on, you guys. I'm going to leave those down there until I finish shuffling. One more time. It is also talking about healing yourself too, because you have to take those steps to self-healing as well. Okay, so since these two cards sort of fell out, I'm just going to go ahead and put them down. I haven't done this one in a long time. And here is your hour challenge. Okay, everybody. Wow. All right. So at the bottom of the deck, you know, I was talking about healing, right? We got the Chariot, all right? And the Chariot is the number 7 major arcana card. Okay, this is what the Chariot looks like. Unboxing. Okay, so instead of the 2 horses, it's talking about moving forward. He's on the cab, honey. He's in the city. So, the Chariot. Definitely talking about moving forward towards victory, right? We're thinking about how we are emotionally affected by certain truths because the 7th house is Libra, and that's talking about justice, and it's talking about truth, right? We're experiencing our own justice and truth, and we're also talking about the justice and truth in terms of, you know, like society at large, right? 7th house is definitely speaking to cause and effect, and also how we react to things that that happen, right? Things that happen to us and things that happen around us, because the Chariot is ruled by Cancer, and Cancer is very much affected by its environment. We've all been having to sort of like protect ourselves from, you know, the ups and downs and the ebbs and flows of the things that have been going on around us, because there are some things that are actually out of our control, right? Because we have to let the higher powers do their work, right? And you know, the person that was talking to me was like, what have you done to help the greater good? And I was like, oh my gosh, like, whoa, I don't know where this is coming from, but I'm doing it right now. So, you know, the Chariot is really just saying, understand that your feelings sometimes are going to come from a place that, you know, are triggered, right? And it isn't up to anybody else to make you feel better about your feelings or about your emotions. You have to do the work yourself. And that's what I was hearing as I was shuffling the cards. It was like, you know, he's not going to heal you. You have to heal yourself. That's what I was hearing, okay? And the Chariot definitely talks about moving forward out of a situation. You know, we're moving forward. We're changing. We're experiencing a shift, right? We're gaining wisdom, okay? And we're realizing what we're going to have to pour into, you know, our understanding and into our relationships, and definitely move forward with truth, right? We can only move forward if we believe in truth and if we trust in the truth. You know what I mean? We can't be fearful of the change, right? Because the Chariot is talking about change, definitely, for sure. You know, and we just had the eclipse in Cancer, right? Which opposes Saturn and Pluto in Capricorn, which is talking about government, yes, and laws, right? And codependencies, right? And unjust principles, okay? Things like that. Anyway, let me go ahead and continue. The card that's at the very beginning, the first card, right? The situation that we're dealing with, this is the 4 of Cups. And this is talking about, oh no, this is the, what is this? Unboxing, honey. 4, luxury. Oh yeah, it is the 4 of Cups, right? So it's talking about comforts, right? Because comfort is luxury, but it's emotional comfort, right? We can't luxuriate in our emotional complacency, right? Because this is Moon in Cancer right here. This 4, right? 4 of Cups is Moon in Cancer. The Chariot is Cancer. So it's luxuriating in a place of feeling emotionally complacent about things because that's how they always have been, right? Because the 4 is talking about foundations and things being the way that they always have been, right? And we don't feel good about the way that things always have been. So that's why the Chariot is coming up at the bottom of the deck talking about us moving forward, right? Having the confidence in ourselves as a society to move forward. That's the thing. It's like we can't confide in each other. We don't feel like we can confide in each other. And that's what the 4 of Cups is talking about as well. Confidence, being able to confide in each other, right? There's spilled milk on the table. There's 3 other cups that have milk inside of it. No one's cleaning up the milk on the table. You know what I mean? So it's like the inability to feel, compelled to do something about it, right? Because the 4s are talking about emperor energy. We're talking about doing something, right? Being of sound mind and body, right? Because, right, as above, so below. You know what I mean? And that's what I'm talking about with the higher powers, right? Mercury esoterically rules Aries. Aries is the emperor and it's number 4. This is the 4 of Cups, which is Cancer, but we just experienced Mercury being retrograde in Cancer, and now it's moved forward, the Chariot card, into Leo, right? So let me flip over the challenge here. The Hierophant, Taurus, which is where Uranus is about to go retrograde again, right? And Uranus, right, which is in the planet that the Hierophant rules this full moon. It's talking about comfort again, right? It's talking about status quo. It's talking about letting things just settle into the way that they are and not really feeling comfortable with change, because the Hierophant is talking about belief systems, institutions, things that are involved with, like religion, and also just kind of trying to fit in. Sometimes a lot of people have been trying to fit into a norm, right? Because the Hierophant talks about, social norms as well that have gone unchanged, that we are feeling emotionally, right? As individuals and as, a collective, right? And there are some things that definitely need to change because we've gotten way too comfortable, right, with the way that things are and have been, right? And I'm going to show you what the Hierophant is, honey. It's giving you Malcolm X talking to people, right? Like I said, belief systems, institutions, not wanting things to change, but needing things to change. You know what I mean? Uranus is shaking up the Hierophant. It's shaking up Taurus right now. And Taurus is like what we have set in place for ourselves to get too comfortable with. That's why Uranus is there. And it's going retrograde now. So it was like moving forward and all these things were happening, crazy stuff. Now we're looking at that so that we can move forward. Uranus has already pushed us. And then we're about to have this Aquarius full moon, which is speaking to that energy of Uranus being in Taurus, right? Going retrograde, completions, right? Fulfillment of something, right? Shedding light onto some things that were hidden, the full moon. The moon is Cancer. We got the Chariot here and we got the 4 of Cups. We got luxury over the Hierophant. So we can't let, collectively, we've been letting money rule us, right? And things that we can acquire, feeling powerful, because the 4 does talk about power. The Hierophant also talks about power, but it's like made to believe what it's like, someone marginalizes your power. Hi, love, finally caught you live. Hi. We're just talking about power struggles within society and norms that we've become comfortable with, that we've become, and also complacent in, right? But wanting to see change, because we got the Chariot here talking about let's move forward, please. Definitely. Even in the challenges, it's like we definitely are going to face challenges and opposition, in terms of getting to where we're going, right? how are we going to feel like we're moving forward? If we stay in one place, we'll never get to understand what it feels like to be better, to be greater, to move forward. You know, seriously. This is all about security and nurturing things. You know, it's also talking about like setting healthy boundaries. It's about healthy boundaries. You know what I mean? Wanting to clean stuff up, cleaning up our spirits, right? And our you know, our souls are already clean. Our spirits are already clean, but our spirit can be, you know, shadowed, or it can be controlled by like the marginalizations of society, right? Right? It really gets in there. And that's what Aquarius is talking about, the power of the mind. Because all of the fixed signs, it's talking about power, right? Scorpio's talking about power for sure. The Hierophant, that's talking about power, right? And old rulings of power, right? And it's a 5, and you know, Leo is also the 5th house. That's talking about power. The sun is powerful, the power of your spirit, of your heart, of your soul, right? Of your own conscious awareness of your being, right? And then Aquarius is the power of the mind, understanding things, right? Concepts, right? Freeing the mind. That's power of the mind right there. Okay? Free your mind and the rest will follow, honey, right? I'm telling y'all. We're telling y'all. We're telling each other. Free your mind, right? Y'all know that song. They knew what they were talking about back then. It wasn't just pop. Okay? Now let's look at what we've been working with. Who is that? Time to break free, honey. Yes. I want to break free. Right? Yeah, it is freedom. Because the Hierophant talks about boundaries and marginalizations, places that we didn't think that we could go because we never tried. Hello. Knight of Cups at the bottom, what we've been working with. The Seducer, right? Yes. That's kind of tricky too, you know, because this is talking about what we've been working with and what we know. You know, society has seduced us into believing that things were good. Yes, buy these things, have this stuff. Because the Knight of Cups is, let me give you a better list. They've gotten themselves. They pay for themselves. You know what I mean? So that's what the Knight of Cups looks like. And this is somebody that seduces you with feelings of luxury, right? Luxury came up at first. Moon in Cancer. The moon also has a connection, deep connection to the Knight of Cups because it's Pisces. Hello, the moon loves Pisces. And the moon also likes Taurus too. So the moon is very involved here as well. Obviously, we're having a full moon in Aquarius. But yes, the Knight of Cups is talking about not allowing yourself to be continuously disillusioned by, you know, how we have gotten used to societal norms that have prevented us from moving forward. We've been sidestepping too much. Ooh. Tap dancing around the issues. No more tap dancing around the issues. But also, we're not going to fight the issues. We're not going to fight, you know, we're not going to create fog and muck to get in the way of us seeing the truth so that we won't actually have the conversations and we won't actually wake up. You know, that's what this is talking about. Because it's Neptune. You know, Neptune is also going retrograde, I believe. Actually, maybe Uranus hasn't gone retrograde yet. I'm sorry. We're talking about Neptune going retrograde, I believe. I've got to check my pocket astrologer. But anyway, those planets are still in those signs. You know what I mean? But yeah, the Knight of Cups is also talking about a responsibility we have, right? Or a responsibility, but also then being intimidated by that responsibility. Okay? Right? And you know, it definitely creates it definitely creates, oh, these cards are so wonderful. Sorry. because I was going to say how Jupiter rules Pisces, right? And then also, the Knight of Cups, it's a water sign, right? It's typically Pisces, but look at the crab in her cup, right? Pisces energy, right? But moon as well. And then look at the horse here, right? Because Jupiter also rules Pisces. Jupiter just went forward, right? When Jupiter goes retrograde, he's still working for us, but it's like it's not as much. It's almost like we're a little like the fog, right? What I was talking about. It's like being a little drunk or being a little intoxicated by all of the things that we've been discussing and talking about and feeling, being intoxicated by the feelings, right? By the mood. Because it's like the mood and the vibe can be intoxicating, right? It can be toxic, right? Toxic mood, toxic vibe. You got to be seduced into thinking that this is, the vibe that I'm in, I'm comfortable with. No, 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 right? Definitely not. And Jupiter, when it goes direct, it shows us like, whoa, where the things have actually really been. It's like, and now I'm gonna make it bigger for you and let you see what it was that was there all this time, right? All this time, because that's how your philosophies change, right? Because you have your belief systems, but then you also have your philosophies. And my moon is in Pisces. Yeah, Pisces moon, honey. Yeah, so you definitely know a thing or two about feeling all the things. Okay, very sensitive. Anybody who has a sun, moon, or rising in Pisces is very sensitive. Or if you have like your sun in your 12th house, which Pisces rules, that also makes you that way, in a different way. But Pisces also is talking about, secrets and keeping things, sort of in the shadows, right? That type of thing. Um, yeah, not seeing things clearly, but we're going to get there. I don't want to flip that one over yet. Now let's go into the air placement, the mind. And this is going to be for you air signs out there too, right? Air, Libra, Gemini, Aquarius, and also just everyone and what you're thinking and how your mind is working. Libra, Sun, Pisces, Moon. Okay. I can feel that energy. I can relate to that energy, and that energy resonates with me. Okay, first card from the air placement. Pleasure, Six of Cups, right? Thinking about the way things used to be, finding pleasure in the way things used to be. The way these cards are fierce. Now we're getting somewhere. Look at these hands. Finding pleasure in the way things used to be, but things are different now. We have to recognize that. We have to understand that. We have to find pleasure in the newness of things because six is talking about reciprocation, and it's talking about comprehensive understanding, right? Feeding into a greater need of understanding and desire and pleasure and beauty and love, right? We have to find pleasure in love. Why don't we as a people, right? Not even just as a people, but as a country, as a nation, as a world. Why don't we find more pleasure in love, right? And I feel like a lot of the air signs understand that, right? Because you understand that your thoughts affect your feelings, you know what I mean? Right? Your feelings come from your mind, your thoughts, right? Actually, they come from their own place, but they play into each other, right? Your thoughts play into your feelings, and your feelings play into your thoughts, and that's what this is talking about. We're trying to find, you know, um, safety in love and harmony, right? There's safety in love and harmony, and there's pleasure there for sure. This is Sun and Scorpio. So there might be some things that are really going to make sense for us and make us feel better about, all of the goings on of the past and where we are now. Because it talks about the now as well, because it's the Sun and Scorpio, right? And it's also talking about transformation, right? So air signs, you're transforming definitely, and definitely all of us as a collective in our minds, we're transforming the way that we think, right? We're changing the way that we think, right? We're understanding what's going to bring us more pleasure, right? The cause, right? Because we need to feel pleasure, we need to see pleasure, we need to sense pleasure, okay? And a lot of us are really begging for that because please, pleasure, Six of Cups, desire. Six of Cups, right? Sun and Scorpio, desire nature. We want this. We all just got the Six of Cups, pleasure, next to the Sun. And it is the Sun in Scorpio next to the Sun. And I said, when we get to Scorpio season, you guys, we're going to understand there's going to be something is going to change. Something's going to shift for us. And the Sun being in Scorpio is going to definitely be related to where we are now because the Sun rules Leo. Okay, and then it's also going to play into that energy because Pluto is like the dispositing planet of Scorpio, and it's in Capricorn right now with Saturn, and that's talking about transformations in government, and we're going to see some things change. Okay, now this could definitely have to do with it could have to do with the transformation in by way of of life to something or death to something. You know what I mean? Could be both. Um, but yeah, we're definitely the sun is here shining light onto a situation that we were overshot, that was shadowed, right? Because look, the shadow is behind us. You see what I mean? And then this Six of Cups is talking about Sun and Scorpio, things in the past behind us, right? Behind us. We're gonna get this. We're gonna get this behind us, and it also talks about our past being very present right now in our future, and we cannot deny it because it's in our head, right? And I was talking about how Pluto is in Capricorn. That's karma, and it's also ancestral karma because the Sun in Scorpio are ruled by things that we cannot necessarily hold on to or grasp, which are out there. I'm not crying, I'm just wiping my face. But damn reading, you're powerful. And these cards are powerful. I'll pull some of these cards for myself from this deck that I'm using. I'll show you it again. Urban Tarot, that's what I'm using today. And they were very powerful. Now let's go into the water placement of what we're feeling and how things are getting into, our being, right? The sun is your being too, but also like water. It is that connects us all, right? And we're having a full moon. Aquarius is a water bearer. He's bringing truths, emotional truths to things. Virgo, Sun, Scorpio, Moon. Okay, Virgo. This full moon is definitely going to affect Virgo and Gemini and Aquarius in ways too as well. Uranus rules this full moon, and Uranus is the higher octane of Mercury, right? Let's go on to the water placement. Yes. Ace of Wands. These are beautiful cards, you guys. Thank you. You inspired me, obviously, to get these because I do it for you. I do it for me too, but they're very visually stunning to me. Ace of Wands. Look at that fire. Look at that enthusiasm, right? And I get that I was just talking about how water unites us, right? Unity is talking about one, right? One, what unites us, right? And this is like the Statue of Liberty holding up this one. It's talking about freedom, right? Unity, that's what unites us, right? Being one, that's what's going to unite us. It's talking about water uniting us too, and water is love, and water is clarity, and water is also reflection, reflecting on something, reflecting on your past. Because when you look in the mirror, you can see behind you, right? I can see behind me right now. Okay, so we're going to be able to bring focus to where we've come from, our experiences. We are definitely experiencing a shift, paradigm shift, and what the aces talk about changes, right? And this is positive change from the Ace of Wands, right? I also see that we're probably going to have to be better about, water and protecting our waters, right? The oceans, respecting water, because the aces do talk about respecting an idea, right? And the Ace of Wands definitely has a lot of purpose and intention behind what it's doing. You're ready, yes. You know, it's like when I see people, and I also do this. I have a habit of sort of like leaving faucets on, but I'm so much better at that than I was. You know what I mean? I don't even really have an issue doing that now. But I had to work on not doing that because I love the sound of water. So I'll be like I'll use it and then I'll go into doing stuff and I'll leave it. But and then I started to see like, the fire hydrants in the neighborhood just like being on. And I understand that it's a part of like what's been going on, but that's a waste. That's water being wasted. And then you see people in countries where their babies and like the children are like, basically dying because they're malnourished and they have what we have to realize we have luxuriated things that have been provided for us that other people don't have, right? This reading is deep because I'm going back into this luxury and the Hierophant crossing that, the chariot. We have to be, we have to get comfortable with getting uncomfortable for the time being, and the aces do bring about a sense of a discomfort because we're like, wait, I don't know. I don't know. Wait a minute. You know? It's kind of like when you answer your phone, like when work calls you or they text you and they ask you to come in, but it's like 2 hours from now. You're like, oh my God, I have the day off. Like, I didn't want to come in. Should I like text them back? You know what I mean? It's like that. It's like, you know, sometimes your awareness is something is brought to your awareness that is a little uncomfortable to you, but you kind of like go for it anyway because it's probably going to be good. Anyway, I'm just going there. Um, but yeah, the Ace of Wands is really wonderful. It's bringing like sun energy, focus, and it's talking about harmony with this trine energy here, you know, definitely. Because look at that triangle at the top. That's talking about creating harmony in an environment that feels safe, that something cannot be disturbed, And there are a lot of infinity symbols here, and it's talking about the environment, and we've gone through a lot of highs and lows and highs and lows and highs and lows, and then it comes into the unity form, the united form here, right? And the handle is really what operates the wand. Okay, so we have it in our hands, right? It's in our control, right? We really do. It really is in our hands, and that's what the Ace of Wands talks about, and that's why the sun is behind this wand. Individualization, but also collective consciousness, right? Because together we are an individual consciousness. If we realize that, that's power, y'all. Power of the mind. Can you what? We better know. Let's look at the other card. That's because, right? That's the cause. The effect. Prudence. Keep at it. Keep doing it. Keep the work going. Let me go ahead and burn a little bit of mugwort while I'm here. Keep the work going. I know somebody told me to only do it with the match, but right now I only have this. But we have to keep at the work, right? We are of service to each other, right? Because we are creating our reality, right? And this is talking about transformation too. And I was talking about how Pluto is, it rules Scorpio when we get into Scorpio season, right? Sun in Scorpio, the Sun card, it's reiterating that. When we get there, pay attention, think about it, because this is the air placement. What's communicating? What are we understanding? When we get there, there's going to be a new beginning, right? Passionate new beginning, right? That we're all going to be focused on, that we're going to be here for, right? Because the Eight of Pentacles is Mercury. Actually, it's Sun in Virgo, right? And that's next, right? So now we're thinking about Sun in Virgo season. There's going to be a new beginning there too. You know what I mean? Hello, right? 8, that's transformational energy, and then it's also talking about it's Mercury. We're thinking about things, and also the aces are ruled by Mercury, right? So here we go. We have to keep the work going. We have to keep putting it out there. We have to keep the information out there. We have to keep being of service to ourselves and others. We have to practice the healthy habits that are going to be very influential and pivotal towards our transformation, right, as a society, right? Because Virgo is talking about collectively as well, because we all experience that energy of Mercury, right, through plants, through the natural order of things. And this is talking about the natural order of things. We're meant to transform. We're meant to experience these shifts. We are meant to have this new awareness of what it is that needs to get done so we can feel more productive, right? We feel like we're getting somewhere, right? We need to feel like we're getting somewhere. Things can't just be the same. We all need to be better. We all need to think better, right? We can't hold on to things that don't work anymore just because, it's what we are used to. Just saying, right? And the eight is related to strength, right? We have to have strength, right? The strength and the unity, right? There's strength in the unity and getting it done. Well, we definitely put our minds to a purpose, right? Mm-hmm. We're really looking at the details of something too. And we have to talk about the realities. We have to be discriminate, right? And not in a negative way, but we have to be able to like figure out what it is that has a power over us. Okay. And Virgo is talking about, seeing two sides of a situation. It's right before Libra, right? And Libra definitely knows a thing or two about seeing two sides. And there are two sides to this, right? Because there's this person, and then the other side is that all the people that experience the work that this person has done for all. You know, you serve yourself when you serve everybody. And when you serve everybody, you serve yourself, right? Aquarius knows a thing or two about that because Mercury is exalted in Aquarius. Now let me flip over the Earth position. Wow, interesting. We go from we go from Sun in Virgo to Mercury in Virgo, which I was talking about all of that, and it's in the Earth placement. So this is completion of an idea, right? Or it's the completion that brings us back to an idea, right? And this is kind of like wealth. We're going to experience wealth as a society, right? Because society definitely has weight. It is a thing. It is actuality. It has substance, obviously. Otherwise, we wouldn't be becoming, more aware of things, and we wouldn't be like, trying to prove things to ourselves. It's the proof, right? Because the Virgo is talking about the proof. So we do have the proof to ourselves that things have gotten us here. This is the product of what, our intended purpose was anyway. And I think that a lot of people aren't willing to understand that we are living in a product that was intended by people a long time ago and people right now, right? It's talking about commercialization of things, right? The normalcy of things, because Virgo is talking about the daily life, right? Our daily life, we have to continue to look at things that need to be changed in our daily life so that we can make our daily life better, because we are going to be affected by things that are in our subconscious, right? Because, Virgo does talk about things that happen and that are working beyond our understanding, right? And that's why we have to stay focused on what we are trying to do here, because it's going to play into what is also being done for us on a larger scale. Okay? And that's why the Ten of Pentacles talks about being in two realms, right? Is this Port Authority? But this is the Ten of Pentacles. Hey, this is the Ten of Pentacles right here. Yes. So we're experiencing a wealth of information, a wealth of knowledge. This new understanding is going to bring a wealth of opportunities to us, because this is also talking about wealth of opportunity, creating, allowing opportunities to come our way, because this is Jupiter being in Sagittarius for sure. I mean, it's not Jupiter in Sag, but it's a 10 and it's related to the Wheel of Fortune, which is Jupiter, right? And then the 10s are talking about Capricorn energy, right? It's kind of like not redistribution of wealth, but it's kind of like it feels like that. People feel like they're actually gaining something, right? From maybe even just like leaders who are responsible coming together and being of service of the people, right? Because we're thinking about that. We need that. Health, right? Virgo rules health. So there's some changes, some things that are going to be happening in terms of like, conversations and discussions and real, um, you know, processing, passing of laws and legislation, things like that, or even just the real conversations coming up about health, right? And just overall health, mental health, work-life balance, things like that. How much time we spend working versus how much money we get for the time and effort that we put into our work. Because there are people who don't get paid a lot of money that work harder than a lot of people that get paid a lot of money. So there, you know what I mean? And let me go ahead and flip over the other card. The universe. 21. That's Saturn. That's completion. We got the Ten of Pentacles in the Earth position next to the universe, which is Saturn. This is powerful and fierce. So this is talking about, an environment where, this is the high level of consideration of what has actually come of something. This is a graduation. This is getting on. This is the karma, right? And I was talking about Pluto, right? Being in Capricorn with Saturn. Here we go, right here. Okay. And Saturn is giving us a way to experience like a higher level, a higher state of being, a higher form of being, right? Because it really is talking about, the Empress. And then which is talking about, safety, nurturing the environment, the wealth of what we already have that we have to acknowledge if we are just able to like step up or just able to accept something or just able to walk through that window of opportunity, because the Empress is talking about window of opportunity. The Hangman, which is number 12, which is reducing to a 3, is talking about opportunity, right? Being Pisces, being Neptune, right? Which Jupiter also rules Pisces, right? Being aware of that window of opportunity, but understanding that there's a time and a place and there's a right moment to come out of, the gestation period to make it happen, right? And then the universe is saying that you come out of that gestation period and the growth has happened, because the universe, right? Saturn, the world, is talking about growth. And the Ten of Pentacles is talking about growth, right? We're experiencing an opportunity to, put our focus into the growth, right? Of the world, of society, of all of that. It's wonderful. We live, right? And then it's also talking about karma, the universe. And it's also talking about, ancestral karma and karma that we have created as a society for ourselves now, right? And not our, but they for us, right? And we're now a part of it too, because we are about we are the ones that come in to change that, to shift that karma. And the Chariot came up, and that's why, the Four, of Cups came up over the Hierophant, which is talking about institutions, rules, laws, like belief systems. Well, this is the way that we're telling you to do it, so this is the way that we're going to do it, And Taurus knows a thing or two about that. Okay. So now, let's look at the fire placement. Let's see. Yeah, I've been in a hermit mode and really knowing when to jump out. Fear is overwhelming, overriding on a hard to put myself. Don't fear, because fear is that beast that grows. It's feeding off of you. Your fear, right? That animal that is your fear, is feeding off of you, creating fear for it to consume. And Saturn rules Capricorn, which talks about the consumption of things, right? Eighth house is Scorpio. This is Eight of Pentacles, which is actually Virgo. You know, don't fear the natural process of things. You know what I mean? Don't fear. Have no fear. It's meant for you to grow, right? You can't stay in that same place. You got to move forward. You have to believe in yourself, right? Because the eighth house is talking about confidence. The sun is talking about confidence. The ace of wands is talking about confidence, right? Even the knight of cups is talking about confidence, because you're overwhelmed by a responsibility that you have, right? That you are seeing, that you are aware of, right? The Hierophant talks about confidence as well, right? You have to have the confidence to believe what it is that you feel like you believe in, right? And not what somebody just tells you to believe. Hello. Because people tell you to believe something so that they can get what they want from you, or out of it, out of the situation, out of the circumstance. Things are circumstantial, right? Hmm. In the fire placement, we got the 10 of Swords. Let me show you guys the universe, which is Saturn, the world, first. Here you go. Right. Also, you know, the tens are talking about completion. The 10 of Swords just came up and you just said that, right? You just sent that message. It's ruin, right? It's ruin, right? It's the end of something. Understanding that something is over. I'm trying to get you to see the ruin here. I don't know if you can see it, it's too light, but it's talking about the ruin of something, you know, and that is a new focus. It's definitely like an ace. It's coming into an ace, so there's a change of you know, mental aptitude. It's like your mental capacity is changing. Sorry, your mental capacity has shifted. It's changing. It's like, whoa, I had all of the information, all of the stuff, and now you know, I'm just gonna like leave it, release it now, you know. And also, a lot of times we're talking about being in 4D and going to 5D, but then the 3D is something that creeps in. And I was talking to someone else about this on Instagram, a fellow reader, because we all experience these challenges and these things that are testing us, right? And sometimes when we want someone, it's working from a 3D level, right? And that's Hierophant, luxury, right? It's like, I can't tell you how many times I experienced giving individuals readings, and they're talking about someone that they want them, that they fear does not want them. So you're putting so much focus into that and not on yourself, which is what you're trying to get the other person to do. Put focus on you. Put it on yourself. No, you don't have a mental sickness, baby. You know what I mean? It's not that. Excuse me. So, you know, I experienced that too, right? And I'm saying it to you and you understand. You're like, yes, yeah, it really is that. Because I can see on the other side, you know, I'm an empath and I'm like, wow, you're really passionate about this other person when you should just be passionate about yourself. But you want them to give you the validation of feeling passionate about you, for you. You know, so, you know, just let things in that want to end and that have. Fact, self-love, right? Self-love, man. It's true. It's so true. And that's what's here in the work, not in the work, but in the water placement too. It's the wand, self-action, right? Through your own productivity, right? Self-action, inspiration that leads to productivity, that leads to you feeling powerful, right? That lead to you seeing that you actually do have a purpose, right? You've got to let your purpose be you. You know what I mean? This wasn't even a planned reading that I'm doing. I was like, oh, I'm being inspired to do this reading with these cards, and it's telling me because of the interactions that I was having with people. Definitely, I think it's mostly wanting to share the love that you have for yourself with someone you feel deserves it. Does that mean yes? Totally. And it's almost like I'm a Libra, so I know, and Libra rising, and a Cancer moon, so I know a thing or two about wanting to share love with us. You're like, but this is so good right here. You don't even know. You know what I mean? And hey, if they're not ready to receive that, then they're not ready to receive it. It's okay. You never know. There's somebody out there that's going to be ready for that. Oh, I love y'all too. For real. You know? Now let's flip over the last fire card. Yes, work. It's amazing. I love this deck. I'm a city boy. And when I was like, how old was I? I might have been like 11 or 12. I knew. 12 maybe. I knew I was going to be moving. Yes, I know it does hurt when it's not reciprocated, right? But that's kind of like what the fives talk about. It talks about that wow, you're getting deep now with that. Because the 5 does talk about reciprocation, right? Because Leo rules the 5th house and it talks about the justification of the reciprocation of being attended to. Taurus gets attended to, right? But the cows sort of like they attend to a need that the people who are taking care of them need. But, you know, it's kind of like they're not seeing what they could give themselves too. Right? The Hierophant. What can you give yourself too? That's why it's talking about the inner ear, because you can listen to a preacher or a rabbi or anybody that is a spiritual leader give a sermon or anything all day long. But what do you know as well that you get when you're not there? What information are you pulling in from your inner ear? You know, for real. Because it's like, okay, yeah, I can feed you, but you also got to do it for yourself, too. And that's Taurus. Taurus is like, yes, luxury, I'm ruled by Venus. You know what I mean? And I'm an earth sign, and I'm beautiful. So, yeah, provide for me, honey. I want to go shopping. Real Housewives. But then it's like, okay, yes, that's happening, but what are you going to do for yourself, too, out of that? Out of feeling like you're good, like you feel secure now. Well, now go do something with that feeling of security that you have. Because we've got to feel secure within ourselves in order to make anything happen. And that's Taurus's thing. Go ahead and feel secure about yourself. Go ahead and listen to that inner ear, right? You can believe what you see around you that's being told to you, status quo, all of that. But what do you believe out of that template that has been given to you? Yes, that's why I had to keep my distance from those who's going to go down and learn lessons. So yes, because some people are ascending and some people are not, or some people are ascending on higher or at a quicker speed than others. Like others are ascending too, but they're doing it like some people are fighting it, right? And they experience that Taurus rising Libra Sun ruling on the double, but us real humans are mutually given. Yeah, right. We definitely want that reciprocation, like Pisces, Cancer, Taurus, Libra. They definitely need that reciprocation. And Leo to some degree, because like I said, fifth house and the Hierophant is number 5. Oh, but I just flipped out so much, right, over the last card being in the fire position because I loved it. But I'm going to show you the card that came right before it. 10 of Swords. Oh, ruin. But as a result of that, bitch, we got a rock star. Okay? I was about to give a rock version of Doug. Silly. Yes, and it kills me. My ex was resisting blah blah blah. And it's like I was saying, that 3D version of yourself is gonna come back to try to get you to hold his hand again. Right? If it's things that sort of might have pissed you off in the past, or things that might have pulled you in the past, or things that might have made you react in some sort of way. Doug, right? But this is saying, no, we're coming out of this ruin like a rock star, honey. This is Sag, right? This is moving forward with energy, feeling good about it. And it's deep, it's spirited, passionate energy. And it's a responsibility to celebrate, what it is that is moving us forward. Because the Knight of Wands is Sagittarius, and that's philosophies changing and moving forward and shifting, right? Because the Chariot actually does rule the Knights. Because the Chariot is usually with the 2 horses, and the Knights are the individual. Okay, you see? Just like the Empress rules the queens, and the Emperor rules the kings, right? And the world or the universe in this case, rules the pages. Well, Chariot rules the Knights, and you got 2 Knights here, and the Chariot card, we did. So it is talking about moving forward, right? You got the Knights that we got was the Seducer and the Rock Star. Right? So we're being seduced by rock and roll and all these things that are good, right? Because Pisces loves the good life and luxury. And we got the luxury card here as Moon in Cancer, because Moon in Cancer likes luxury too. It likes food, it likes friends, all of that. Sages are cool. Well, I have a lot of Sag. My dad's a Sag. My biological dad. So this is the Rockstar card. And, definitely talking about high-spirited energy, feeling good with purpose, right? Intention, philosophy, right? Definitely saying that we're all getting something out of this new knowledge, right? And wisdom. So we're moving forward towards wisdom with this ruin. We are moving forward towards wisdom with this ruin, from this ruin. We're at 60 minutes now. It's ice cold. Okay. Let's flip over the last card that is at the top of the reading. I love you all. The Matriarch, Queen of Discs. This is good. This is Queen of Pentacles. We need to do this for ourselves. Look, everybody has a seat at the table, right? That's what we're moving towards. Let me give y'all another look at that. Everybody has a seat at the table. And this is Capricorn. So this is talking about government, you know, and it's talking about, you know, also society, because society is what we have made it, what we have built. And Capricorn talks about building things. This matriarch is the Queen of Pentacles. She's related to the Empress, which talks about something that is being nurtured, right? That needs to be created. We've gotta nurture this thing that we are creating here, that is going to bring about a reality, more reality to the experience, right? We have to understand that there's more than just us involved. You know what I mean? Right? And I'm talking about, you know, a lot of people that also have power too, right? And us, we have to understand. The tablecloth, right? Right? That tablecloth, honey. Look. Hmm. Yeah, but the queens are definitely talking about also taking the time out that we need. We need this time. Well, you know, caps are definitely, they can be difficult, but that energy is difficult, right? Because we all experience it. It's Saturn. That's why they're ruled by Saturn. You know, I have Saturn in my first house, so I can understand how people would think that you're freaking out. I can understand how people might think that my life is difficult. I have Saturn conjunct Pluto in my first house, and Saturn is um, the furthest along in my first house, right? And it's a Scorpio. Hardworking, yeah. They do work very hard, and sometimes they feel bad about that because they feel like they're missing out on something that they, you know, also want. But they want a lot. They consume. You know, that's the energy. But the Queen of Cups is saying that that giving to something and needing to put something back into yourself too. It's also, you know, under it's reciprocation too. It's like not needing the reciprocation, right? It's us doing the work, right, and nurturing the experience and not needing to get anything back from it. You know, it's not like being like, well, this is what I do to help society. Caps never really liked Libras. Not sure why. Well, I wouldn't say that that's true. My roommate is a Capricorn rising. I'm a Libra rising. I just friended a Capricorn that takes my Pilates classes. Cardinals are strong, right? Cardinal signs are very strong. Libra and Cancer are probably the most passive signs, but Cancer I would definitely say isn't that passive, right? They are passive in terms of like absorbing the impact, you know, of their emotions, but you know that's also impact like Aries, you know, the Emperor, the first house experiences, and Cancer is another, you know, it's like that. It protects as well, but protects in a different way. But you know, this is talking about putting the energy, the time, the effort into our gestation period, into the growth. They can work well together, but have the, yeah, we're just different. You know, and me and my roommate, like I'm Libra Cancer energy, and he's Aries Capricorn energy. So like he's the two Mars related, and then I'm the one that's the two that are like um kind of, well, the moon isn't really related to Venus, but it kind of is because the chariot is number 7 and Libra is the 7th sign. And then, you know, the moon rules the chariot, but the moon is exalted in Taurus. Taurus is ruled by Venus, you see? Man, I feel like I've been working for the universe for so long. It's so hard when I want to return unconditional love and need it. Yeah, it's okay. This is saying that not expecting to get anything back, right? Giving the love, sharing the love, putting it out there, and not expecting to get anything back. So that's what we have to do for ourselves, right? And it's very related to Virgo energy as well. Putting it out there, not expecting to get anything back. It's like when people recycle or when people practice, you know, non-polluting or anything like that, they're like, I don't see myself getting anything out of it yet. Well, that's good. Because what you would get out of not doing it is not pretty. Oh, thank you, Lydia. I love y'all. If you would like to get a reading from me, email providencetarotkendrick@gmail.com. Comment in the comment section to let me know if you guys would like a reading special, you know, something. Um, wow. Okay, I just picked up the bottom of the deck here. Control is here, which is Jupiter and Capricorn, and that's going to be happening next year. So we're probably going to be feeling the wonderful effects of all of the work that we're doing now. Control, Jupiter and Capricorn, right? There's a purpose here. There's a bigger purpose here. We're understanding that the world at large is definitely, we are in control as citizens of the world, right? We all are. We have to work together. You know, the medical industry, you know, branches of government, right? Corporations, individuals. You have to treat individuals like, you know, they're just as respected as corporations. What? And we're not going to put a label on what that is. We're just going to say that that's what we need to be doing. You don't think you'll find what? um, yes. So follow me on Instagram, Providence Tarot Kendrick. Or sorry, what am I saying? Follow me on Instagram, Providence Tarot. Um, my account is NYC Kendrick. I have a food account. It's called The Tongue Pop. Um, I'm a Pilates instructor in New York City if anybody wants privates or anything like that. A true love. Oh, well, you never know where you find a true love, darling. You never know, right? Yes. Children of the universe, right? It's very provident. You like how I do that? All right, everybody. This has been your full moon in Aquarius reading for the collective. Let's put that work and that positivity and the love and nurture what we need to see be created out of this period of ruin that we are coming into rebirth, right? We're changing focus. We're realizing where we got too comfortable. And we need to be here for each other because the Hierophant talks about that too. You're welcome, everybody. Great reading. I read at Shanti Bookshop and Crystal Gallery from 12 to 5 on Sundays in New York City, and it is on 230 East 14th Street between 2nd and 3rd Avenues. It's nice seeing you guys too. Okay, I'll see you later. Bye. Like, share, and subscribe.